From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
At 9:33 a.m. Pacific Standard Time today, the White House announced the president would sign your $1,400 third stimulus check bill into law today, not Friday. And at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, it happened. The President of the United States signed your third stimulus check bill into law. Wall Street was euphoric. The nation erupted. The excitement unfolded. And then more news came as well, as the President's press secretary announced that your $1,400 third stimulus checks will start landing in your bank account this weekend. Her exact words: away we go. In less than 3 hours from now, the President of the United States will address the country and detail to us what else is in that stimulus package. Meantime, other breaking news across the land, which I've not been able to cover until this recording. This extended recording will go over the breaking developments about fourth stimulus package revealed just today. More developments across the land about what the president's next planning for stimulus for this country. I have all the details from the West Coast to the East Coast, from Washington to Main Street, from San Francisco to New York. It all gets underway as LALATE goes into its final half hour right now. Checks will be landing electronically in your bank account this weekend. That statement was made by the President's press secretary minutes ago. Shortly after 12:11 Pacific Standard Time, the President's press secretary said the following: people can expect to start seeing direct deposits hit their bank accounts as early as this weekend. Congratulations. I'll go over who those people are in a second. I'll go over the other stimulus checks that you're going to get. I'll go over the $5, $10, $15, $20,000 that's in this third stimulus package. I'll go over every item you're going to see, where they will be, and how you grab them. Then I'll be cutting over to the other breaking developments about fourth stimulus across the country. Those developments happened earlier today before the president signed this into law. So many details, so excited for you. Boy, it has been a full day. As someone just said in the comments, la 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 late. That's how I feel. La 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 late. How are you? It still feels like mornings. I'm about to say the toast is toasted because it feels like 9:30. It's still 9:30 in the morning. It's been a full jam-packed news day. I went live at 9:30. He announced he signed it a day earlier. Then at 11, I'm live. He signed it. Then at 12, the press secretary said the checks are on their way. It's been one of those days. Congratulations. Congratulations. Give yourself a big smile. And as one viewer said, a cappuccino might be really nice now. You're getting a $1,400 stimulus check. Also, hit that like button. Hit that like button because this is a day to be subscriber to a channel that broke the news minute after minute throughout the day, literally as it was happening. On the first occurrence, I was grabbing the NASDAQ and Dow numbers for you, and the wire hit. The wire hit from the White House. Signing the checks, signing the bill today. Hit that subscribe. This channel has been absolutely on fire. The fastest growth it has ever seen in 3 months. So thank you for all the love and loving you back. Let me go over first the stimulus check. Who is the people who are actually getting it this weekend? These are people of 3 groups. One, if you receive anything electronically from the IRS on a monthly basis, you're getting it this weekend. This is SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits who receive things electronically, their monthly payments electronically. This is you. Number 2, anyone that got the first or second stimulus check electronically, perfectly without cause a concern or got it through their tax preparer, their online company, got electronically there, this is you. Group number 3, anyone that got that 2020 tax return on file early in February or late February, you may also be in this group. You clearly got in a month early. This is likely also you. So congratulations. Congratulations. Friday and Saturday, yes. The reason why I'm saying Friday and Saturday, even though the White House said this weekend, is that you can't send out a check electronically on a Saturday. There's no processing mechanism to send payments electronically on Saturday. You send them on a Friday to get them on Saturday. But this is the really interesting, great news. Alessandra, thank you Alexandra for the super chat. At the Dancing Fair. The great news is that if you're sending out on Friday, some viewers, not a lot, but some get them on that same day. Most banks take 24 hours to clear funds. So some viewers got the second stimulus the same day it went out electronically. So congratulations. Great news for you. Who is getting, let's stay on the stimulus check and cover everything about the stimulus check first before we go to the other items. $1,400 individual, $14 for adult dependents, $14 for children. If you're an adult dependent, stimulus check goes to the person who you appear as an adult dependent on their tax return. Income levels unchanged, $75,000 less for an individual based upon 2019 or 2020 tax return, whichever one is the most recent you filed. Very easy breezy. If you made over $75,000, you're getting still a stimulus check, but it phases out at $80,000. All very easy breezy. You have to have a social security number to get a stimulus check. And as I've been joking all throughout today, and I'll probably joke all throughout the weekend, there's going to be someone who's going to go to that irs.gov tracking tool, which never works. And they're going to say, it doesn't work. Yeah, let me just tell you before you go look on it, it's not going to work. So don't start tracking it. Just not going to go that fast. Really great news. The paper checks and the debit card payments will come shortly thereafter. And there we go. Next item is the children. Children 5 to newborn, they're going to get $5,000. And children who are 17 to 6 are getting $4,400. How are they getting paid? They are getting 2 items, a $14 stimulus check and something else. If they're 5 to newborn, they're getting $1,400 plus $3,600, which is paid $300 a month starting the month of July for 12 months. If they're 17 to 6, they're getting $4,400 paid the following way. $14 stimulus check and then $250 a month for 12 months starting the month of July. Here are 2 things to know about that. First, the $14 stimulus check has a limit of the household at 4. So single mom, 3 kids, or married couple, 2 kids, family of 4. This $3,600 and $3,000 looks like it does not have that limit of the number of children. It's per child. The other thing that I've been hitting on really hard is that the reoccurring message of this channel will be if you need to fix something, the way to fix it is by filing a tax return. Going to a tax preparer and filing a tax return. Fix number 1, if you didn't get that first and second stimulus check, you need to file a tax return to request it. Fix number 2, if you have a child and you're watching the show and you know the IRS does not know that child exists, let's say you're on SSI and the child is not, they don't know the child exists, or let's say you've never listed the child as a dependent and they're 8 years old, you still don't list them as a dependent, I don't know why, but you haven't. You need to fix this by tax return. The IRS needs to know the child exists. Next, there's other money for children, and that is the child care tax credit. $4,000 per child up to, or $8,000 up to for 2 or more children, based upon the following calculation: age 13 or younger, and 50% of the child care costs. You could deduct up to that amount. One thing I wanted to mention about the $3,600 and $3,000 I just forgot to mention about the child is that income qualification is the only qualifier for it. And it's the same income qualification as a stimulus check. So to get that $5,000 for that child 5 to newborn, it's just that you made the same amount of money as the stimulus check. income qualification, less than 75,000. Nothing else that you have to be nothing else that requires you to be for eligibility besides that. Very easy breezy. Hazard pay, $1,502 if you are 19 years or older and made less than $25,000 during the pandemic. This is an earned income tax credit and something you request from the tax return. There's big exciting news with COLA across the land. Cobra. Cobra has a lot of stuff in here that I think is even more delicious than I'm even reporting. Cobra basically has all your premiums paid from April 1st to September 30th. And then your premiums are less thereafter at 8.5%. Unemployment is extended meantime from now all the way to September 6th. FPUC is $300 a week. You will not lapse on benefits. PUA will now be 79 total weeks. PUC will now be 53 total weeks. And there you go. FPUC will be $300 a week. One of the questions I've been getting questions about, which I fully expect to get 1,000 questions on this one because it is confusing, is that $10,200 of unemployment at issue. This is what that is. Let me explain what it is first, and let me explain to you how you fix it. Your first $10,200 of unemployment in the year 2020 is now tax-free. Yes, last year. So if you pay taxes on that amount of money at any time, whether on a tax return or taking it out for taxes before you got paid from your state for unemployment, again, another thing that affects with the tax preparer. You can't call up IRS and ask for the money back. You can't call up your unemployment department and ask for the money back. You have to fix it with a tax return. And there's no easy way to explain it other than that. It is a numbers calculation, and it's unfortunate this is the way they've done this. They should have done this before people filed their 2020 tax return. You're going to have to amend your tax return potentially as well. What are the other incredible items? $1,700 for financial aid for college students on top of a $14 stimulus check. This will likely be with their college. So you'll reach out to your college financial advisor and they will tell you where it is. And elsewhere, we went over the child tax credit, rental assistance across the land. There'll be rental assistance, just like Purple on the video before this. I like it because the rent is low income, middle class, homeless, and the rent has a broader eligibility than we thought. Not necessarily that you have to be behind on the rent, but that you have been impacted even indirectly because of the pandemic. And if you've been unemployed for 3 or more months, you get priority. This is a plot. You get this money from your state or your state or county. I would have preferred it was from the federal government, a single place that you apply it, but it's not. Homeowners will be very excited because they'll get money for mortgage payments, utility bills, and other housing costs. Finally, restaurants will have not 1, but 3 grants. Viewers continue to ask, and I ask as well, where is that innovation grant? We'll hear tonight from the president if he talks about it for the second or third time. I still don't see it, but maybe it'll be around. It would likely be at sba.gov. There will be 2 EIDL grants going live at SBA, but the one that seems to apply to the most viewers of this channel is the following. $5,000 if you have less than 10 employees and that you were impacted by the business with a downturn of about 50% of your income during the pandemic. There is a grant for restaurants based upon 2020 revenue subtracted from 2019 revenue. And then there's a shuttered venue operator grant as well. Really incredible news across the board. And there we go. Away we go as we surf into third stimulus land. I'm really excited for you. Someone asked a very good question. What do I do to get that hazard pay? Is that the 2020 return or the 2021 return? I don't particularly know. It looks like it's the 2020 return. Ultimately, a question for that tax preparer. If you're just joining me at the 14-minute mark, The president's press secretary, Jen Psaki, said at 12:11 today that people can expect to start seeing direct deposits hit their bank accounts as early as this weekend of the $1,400 stimulus check. Wow, it's just an exciting day. You started with the day with thinking that there wouldn't even be a law. Now there's a law and a press conference and a stimulus check landing in your bank account. Things went a little quickly today, didn't they? They went a little bit quickly. There is Disco Duck with the Dime Lemon. I love that. And who else is in the room? Balua and Norma, Norman and Alma and Judy. And there's Sandy and there's Colleen. And there is Heidi and Robert Alvarez. Great question from Robert. Is the EIDL grant just for low-income community? It is not. There is another one, the one that I didn't mention, that is for the low income. This one is not. This is for everyone. And if you got an EIDL grant before, apply again. If you got an EIDL loan before, apply again. Anyone can apply for it. So really great news. There's Diane and there is Gaines. La 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 late. Yes, la 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 late. Yes, it is. Is this the check under the CARES Act? No, this is the check under the third stimulus package, which became a law today. No, if you're missing that second, if the CARES Act is the first stimulus package, if you never got that first stimulus check from March of 2020, you can still request it on the tax return. But guess what? I have big other developing news about forced stimulus. It's really big news. And I've been holding it all day. It's coming up right after this commercial break. Stay with me. I'm back in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
Congratulations. You're getting a $1,400 third stimulus check in your bank account this weekend if you're signed up for electronic receipt. Yes, that was confirmed by the president's own press secretary at 12:12 afternoon this Thursday here in Los Angeles. The president's press secretary said the check will land in your bank account starting this weekend. This incredible great news after the president signed into law your $1,400 third stimulus check at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time today. But other developing details across the land have been really shocking. Item number one I want to go over, a federal district judge in Ohio, nominated by Trump, heard a hearing about whether property owners could challenge the CDC eviction moratorium as unlawful. The decision is that it's unlawful. So what does this mean across the land? We don't know just yet. The eviction moratorium is set to expire in just a few days. But again, a federal judge in Ohio has ruled it is unlawful to continue to use that eviction moratorium thereafter. I will stay with that story. We're far from over. Then Susan Collins. Remember Susan Collins? She's the Republican in the Senate who is that swing vote that often votes in favor of Democratic bills and was a person that the White House wanted to support on this stimulus package and others. Well, a new report today says that Chuck Schumer may have really messed up badly. For weeks, Chuck Schumer has apparently been going after Susan Collins in a negative fashion, so much so that people now believe that Schumer will not be able to get allegiance from Susan Collins on any future fourth or fifth stimulus package from the White House because Collins has literally been under fire from Schumer. Collins said today, why does Chuck seem to be going out of his way to alienate the most bipartisan member of the Senate, meaning herself, is a mystery to me. And it's most reflective of extraordinary frustration of having wasted $100 million in the state of Maine in an attempt to defeat me and for me to win by a strong margin. She's referring to Chuck Schumer trying to get her thrown out of Maine as a senator and losing. Senator John Cornyn, who is a Republican out of Texas, says this is a dumb move by Schumer going into fourth stimulus. Susan Collins is the likely Republican to engage in bipartisan negotiation going forward. Why would you go out of your way to intentionally alienate her is dumb. Really interesting. The president needs that support. Now, Collins does say the president has been himself has been great to her and has called her up several times. You need that support from her and other Republicans for future fourth and fifth stimulus. Next, what is the next bill coming out? Well, a new report says that the infrastructure bill may be the next bill. Infrastructure? What is exactly the infrastructure bill? Biden's infrastructure bill may focus on transit, drinking water, airports, and bridges and roads. We're so far behind the curve, Biden says, that we rank 38th in the world. But analysts think that the president will slide stimulus into this, so it won't be really a pure infrastructure bill. Where am I? I'm here. Let me explain this on camera because this is very important to understand. The reason I'm bringing this up for you is for information purposes. You're going to hear people say infrastructure is the next bill. It may be called infrastructure, but it's really stimulus also. And that's certainly not just what Republicans are saying of it, but also Democrats. The sort of pitch of it is it's infrastructure, but it is stimulus. Now, of course, Mitch McConnell says it's just clean air. Goldman Sachs says he doesn't know if it's going to pass if it just stays the way it is. And the Wall Street Journal says that if it just stays as green energy and climate, that's not going to pass, that it has to be more normalized towards stimulus. So I'm bringing that up for you so you understand where things are going. Meantime, exciting news across the country as the country now sees more vaccinations happening. Los Angeles is among them. While this is a video clearly of New York, Los Angeles County could be entering the red zone as early as Monday. That could mean the reopening of gyms on March 15th. I have been hearing on this channel. March 15th is just around the corner as California's COVID infection numbers have improved and have dropped to the best levels in months. Alaska, meantime, has been opening and becomes the first state to make COVID vaccinations available to anyone 16 years and older. What a big day it is. One of the things I loved on yesterday's show and the day before was answering some of your great questions about financial information, stimulus, bonds, stocks, and more. So with that, let me turn it over to the room and answer any questions you have about what you've heard today. Is EIDL going live today? STG, great question. It could go live. We don't know what day it's going to go live. So that's a great question. Basically, they have about 2 weeks to go live. So we need to watch them to see if it's in there. LA, the next bill needs to have SSI. It does. I agree, Lynn. Absolutely. Well said. So watching SBA.gov daily is very, very important. If my 2020 tax return is still being processed, will they go by the 2019 or the 2020? If we're talking about income qualifications for the stimulus check, then then the one that has been processed. If we're talking about the electronic account information, same thing. So if it's not processed, then it's effectively not there yet. So that is a great question. Is Warren still pushing for SSI? Not as much as we would like her to, but she's not away from it. Will dependents get their own check, or does it go to the parents? No. Adult dependents check will go to the person who declares them as a dependent. Will I get hazard pay if I worked but was laid off? So the hazard pay under the third stimulus check is the earned income tax credit of $1,502 if you made less than $25,000 during the pandemic. It is something you request on the tax return. It is not something you apply for. And again, the only qualifications are one, it's essential worker, and two, you made less than $25,000 at it. If I got the EIDL grant again, can I get another one? Yes, you can, so far. That's a great question. So the way the bill is written, it does not say anywhere you are excluded if you got an EIDL grant before or an EIDL loan or anything like that. That's a great question. When we get the stimulus check, electronically, starting tomorrow and Saturday. Great question as well. I was late. Why would I be turned down for a PPP Schedule C but no bank account, but now as of January? So that's a great question. Every PPP lender is different, and I have definitely seen that from hundreds of viewers. So if you get turned down from a PPP from one lender, reach out to another lender. They all do things differently. Great question. Mortgage assistance qualification. Financial inability to pay the mortgage. There's not a lot of details in there, but it's going to be administered by your locality. So your locality could do different things about it. If you make more than $25,000, you get zero for hazard pay. Correct. Thank you, Yvette, for becoming a Purple Hawk member. Eviction moratorium. If you're just joining me, the eviction moratorium is expiring in late March. We will see if the president's going to extend it. Great question. And yes, if you got an EIDL grant last year, you can apply again. Now, SBA can change that rule, but for purposes of the law, you absolutely can do it again. I haven't gotten my EIDL grant from last year for Uber Business. Any tips? Apply this time around. You'll get $5,000. I made less than $25,000 during the pandemic already, and I lost the comment. And did my taxes. Do I have to amend that for hazard pay credit? Abby, I don't know. My understanding is it's 2021's return, but maybe I'm wrong. How do I apply for college students 1700? You want to reach out to your financial aid advisor at your college because it looks like it's going to be administered by the college institution. Now, if you're a member of this channel, you want to go to the section in colleges. That's where it's a section in the bill about colleges because that's where it talks about that item. Did you say that everyone can refile for the EIDL grant? I did. There's nothing in the law, the law that says you cannot. How do we find out about the internet? The volunteers. Who is considered hazard pay workers? That would be under the earned income tax credit at irs.gov. It'll explain those details. Great question. So I filed my 2020 taxes and they have been accepted. will I have to amend my taxes for this unemployment taxes? First, if you prepare the tax return yourself and are good at numbers, then what I would recommend you to do is just run the numbers on a piece of paper and see how different the situation is. It makes a difference of a situation, then yeah, you're gonna have to amend the tax return. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. If it doesn't make a financial difference for you, then there's no reason to amend the tax return. If you did not prepare the return but use an accountant or tax preparer, you're gonna have to go back to them and have them do it for you. DoorDash and someone who drives for DoorDash, yes. So you can get any ideal grant, yes. Now remember, for business grants, make sure you have a Schedule C. You should have been declaring that DoorDash income, even if it's $2,000, on a Schedule C, not on the main return. If you didn't do it that right, go to irs.gov, look up what a Schedule C is, and then go to a tax preparer and do an amended return, because they're going to go off of that Schedule C when giving that grant. Student loan debt forgiveness. So this is it's just been one of those topics that I'm like, do I cover it and really confuse people, or do I not cover it? The student loan debt forgiveness question was a great question because it's confusing. Let me tell you where we are at the student loan debt forgiveness. Thank you. What about the $10,000 for hazard pay? Didn't make it in here. Didn't make it into the bill. What happened with the student loan debt forgiveness? It's just very complicated. Bottom line is, it's not law. There is no student loan debt forgiveness in this bill. There is something else about student loan forgiveness, but it doesn't forgive the debt. So I have chosen not to talk about it because I think it just confuses people, because then they say, well, you talked about it. Sounds like it passed. No. The student loan debt forgiveness is in the Senate as a standalone bill. This does have something in it very important for student loan debt forgiveness. And every time I seem to bring it up, I think I confuse people about it because it's not law yet. I'm talking about something that hasn't happened. So that's sort of where we go. There you are. And a big day. Wow, there we are at 32 minutes. I never got my last check. You never got your last check? Then request it on a 2020 return. Is the UI what you're referring to for $10,000 from 2020? It is from 2020. That's the tax year that I'm referring to. Yes, absolutely. So someone asked a question about my ex-wife. There's actually a series of articles out today that says this stimulus package specifically will cause a lot of confusion for divorcees, because there's one check that goes here, another check that goes there. Ultimately, it's really going to be a big battleground where there are two people that are dealing with the situation of a child, and that child is potentially $5,000 to $10,000, $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000 of money. There is no real answer to it except me teaching you how much that child is entitled to. And ultimately, the IRS has to know it's your child on your tax return. I've heard strange things over the last year where people swap children between tax returns every year. These things they make them very confusing. And I have no real clear answer for it. Friday or Saturday? Yes, absolutely. Hazard pay. That's a great question. Does the employer have anything to do with the hazard pay? The $1,500 of the hazard pay, which is the earned income tax credit, is paid as a result of, is something that appears on your tax return that you put it on there. So the employer has nothing to do with it. That's a great question. And there we are. And there's Scotty, and there's D'Souza, and Daniel, and there's Sherry, and there's Heather. Is it on the IRS portal? We got it in July out of the child tax credit thingy. No. So one of the most important things you're going to be hearing from me, and maybe I'll end with this one, is that this bill creates a lot of things that you need to potentially fix. The way you fix things is filing tax returns. IRS doesn't know a child exists. You have to file a tax return. Haven't gotten first or second stimulus checks, have to file a tax return. Haven't gotten that, you think you may be owed money back from that $10,200 that is not taxable from the of your unemployment benefits from 2020, have to file an amended tax return. All these things are fixed because of tax returns. That's the way they wrote this bill, is everything goes through the tax return. Ultimately, if you're a person that sees, oh my goodness, I think I have 3 things to fix, just sort of make a list of them and then go to your tax preparer and say, this, 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 and this. If you do the taxes yourself, then maybe you can run the numbers and see how things are. The great thing is that irs.gov is a very good website. It gives you a lot of clarity, but you can absolutely categorically not call up your unemployment office and say, hi, send me some money back, or call IRS up and say, hi, send me some money back. That's not how it works. I wish it did. I wish it did. You say, hey, can you send me some moolah? No, that's not how it works. La 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 light. We should have a la 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 party. And there we are at the 3 o'clock on the West Coast. We're just a few hours away from Biden's announcement to the country. I'll be back with you at Hazard Pay tonight at 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 7 o'clock on the West Coast. Thank you for joining me. If you have not hit that subscribe right now. It's been a big day. It's been a big day across the land. I really appreciate all the excitement, all the anticipation, all the love. Thank you, Lisa, for the super chat. We have a pretty high chat rate in this room as well. There's Crayola and there's Harry and there is Mary and Alma and Ashley and Beautiful and Let You Know and Crayola and Stockett and Kara. How are you? It's a big day. And Hasmuma and Buddy and Sita and Sonia. There you are. La 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 la, and away we go. Off we are into third stimulus land. Thank you for joining me on a big afternoon with so much excitement across the land. I'll see you later tonight as LA returns with Hazard Pay this evening with a live chat. Thank you for joining me on Afternoons LA Light.